Cyber dopamine years. So these are 3 Android handheld devices. You've got the Odin 3, the Thor, and the new Retroid Pocket Nova. And you typically buy one of these things to emulate retro games while using Android as the main operating system. And as some of you know, the smartphone chips inside these devices are powerful enough to run some pretty heavy games. So how cool would it be to turn these cheaper and more portable handhelds into actual Steam Decks by installing SteamOS onto them? Well, these devices are not running Android anymore. They are running on Linux. And more importantly, ARMADA OS, which is a new Linux distro similar to Bazzite that not only gives you the beautiful handheld-friendly SteamOS experience, but allows you to run every single game you own on Steam. I've been daily driving these devices with quote SteamOS for weeks now, and I'll start by saying this. We have a very bright future ahead of us. These 3 devices out of the box come with Android, and so you can go to GitHub right now and install ARMADA onto a micro SD card, plug it into your device, and boot from the SD card. And if you want to, like I did, you can actually have it install into the internal storage so it runs locally and natively, right? It only takes like 5 minutes to install it. And once you do that, I mean, it's just like a Steam Deck or a Steam machine. You literally log into your Steam account, freaking connect to your Wi-Fi or whatever, and boom, you're just ready to go. You start downloading games you want to play. Also, you don't have to sub if you don't want to sub. If it's your vibe, you know, it's your vibe. And the reason why this is such a big deal for those of you that don't know is typically to play PC games, you need a gaming PC, a gaming laptop, or a gaming handheld. But now you can play your PC games on smartphone hardware. And what blew me away when I did this for the first time on my Odin 3, everything is working far more than you would ever expect. The settings work, the display, the brightness, the Wi-Fi. You've got Steam Sync, that works. There's no LED light support right now, as far as I know. Even sleep mode works to an extent. They're working on it. They're gonna patch it pretty soon, but sometimes it'll draw a little bit of power, but for the most part, sleep mode does work. You'll probably want to power it off and on though. It's still experimental. And this OS comes pre-installed with Decky loaders. So for those of you that know, you can instantly go straight into your themes, you know. There's an ARMADA plugin that allows you to underclock your device so you're not drawing too much power. It's all there and it works for the most part. Before I show you the performance and what it's really like to turn Android handhelds into Steam Decks, I first want to give a shout out to Sharge. Battery anxiety is real, especially when you're traveling with a handheld, laptop, phone, earbuds. It feels like something is always about to die. That's where the Shargeek 170 comes in, and instead of packing multiple chargers or hunting for outlets, you can just throw this in your backpack and keep your whole setup powered. The coolest part is how much power it actually puts out. This delivers up to 170 watts total and up to 140 watts from a single USB-C port. So it'll fast charge pretty much anything from your laptop and handheld to your phone. And with 2 USB-C ports plus a USB-A port, you can charge 3 devices at the same time, which is perfect for when you're at the airport, in a hotel, or walking from a coffee shop. One of the coolest features is the built-in display. Instead of guessing how much battery is left, you can actually see your battery percentage, charging speeds, and the real-time power going in and out. And honestly, it just looks awesome. The transparent design stands out from every other boring power bank. And it's one of those pieces of tech people always end up asking about. If you're traveling a lot, bringing handhelds with you, or you just want one power bank that can keep your entire setup charged, definitely check out the Shargeek 170. I'll leave a link down below if you want to learn more. I'm telling you guys, I freaking love this brand. I use their stuff every single day of my life. Check out their website. They have crazy stuff. Thank you, Shargeek. So this is the craziest thing, dude. I start downloading games, you know, Dave the Diver, Silk Song, Cult of the Lamb, a couple other indie games. Skyrim is definitely not indie, but it's older, so you can run it comfortably. These games play super freaking well. My success rate was like probably 8 games would run out of 10, okay? And obviously I'm not gonna put Black Flag on any of these things right now. We're not there yet, but one of the biggest things I notice is with these lower end games, you don't feel like you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. Like, it is meant to happen. It's a hard feeling to explain. And what's freaking awesome is that, just like on Bazite or SteamOS or even, any other handheld, you're able to go from eco mode to performance, right? You can do balance in the middle, which is what I have most of my games set to, because then the fan doesn't start spinning like crazy. So the fan noise to performance ratio is actually well tuned for these devices that I've installed it on, to where it is a comfortable experience. But do keep in mind, like, you are going to get way less frame rates with this setup than you would on Android using Game Native or Game Hub. And in my experience, the performance is good enough for so many games that for me personally, it is totally worth installing this on my devices, almost to a fault where I'm not even willing to go back to Android. And everything I'm showing you today will be different tomorrow. Performance is something that the ARMADA team is focused on right now. And of course, there's different effects, updates. There's a whole bunch of everything's going on. Everything is being worked on as we speak. So you're only going to see an increase in performance as time goes on. And you can experiment with different effects, presets, which is what we're using to convert x86 games to ARM, right? None of this would be happening if Valve didn't start pushing for this, by the way. I like to mess around with a lot of demos. They're small file sizes, and chances are they're not Unreal Engine capped to the 4K max, you know what I mean? So I found this demo right here called Money Ring, and I've been playing this on this little device, and I've been having such a blast. It's like Monkey Ball, if you guys remember, but it's such a low commitment game on such a low commitment device. And it literally solves so many issues that a lot of people have about finding time to game. I'm telling you right now, having SteamOS on a small device like my Odin or my Thor or my Pocket Nova, this thing is tiny, dude. Now, of course, everything I'm showing you is super cool. I'm hyped up because it's so freaking fun. But I wouldn't go all in on this like I am. You're gonna run into glitches, man. We're not fully there yet. So for example, sometimes I'll put the device to sleep, and occasionally on my Odin, the device will turn back on, but my screen doesn't display anything, right? For some reason, occasionally downloads will stop pulling megabits or gigs and go down to kilobits, right? So there's some things here and there that you got to be weary of. But again, I think this is so fun. I'm I'd rather deal with these issues and have this seamless SteamOS experience than to, play on, than the alternative, which is simply just Android, which nothing against Android, but this is freaking rad. It's obviously early. We're not totally there yet, but we're somewhat there. I had to freaking show you guys. This is awesome stuff, dude. This thing is literally like a Tamagotchi that runs Steam Deck games. It's the craziest freaking feeling. I'm obsessed. It genuinely is wild that we're here. And it's only going to get better from here too. Oh my gosh, dude. ARMADA OS is still very young. You know what I mean? They're working on updates. You can join their Discord. They're pretty active with this stuff. But these guys are working on compatibility and performance, sleep mode. They're fixing the main things right now. It's obviously a priority, but they're able to improve, which is a big thing. There's no hard cap, which is why I say our future is really bright.